Alright guys, so we're continuing on with our install. So we're going to be working on the what they call a Big 3 electrical upgrade next, which basically means we're going to be replacing the wire going from our alternator to our battery, and that's going to be the positive side of the battery, from the negative side of the battery to somewhere on the frame of the vehicle, and then also another wire from the negative side of the battery to the engine block itself. And the reason that we want to do this is because you can put all these big huge zero gauge wires running your system and everything else, but if your system itself can't recharge or can't provide the proper power that it needs, then there's no point of having spent all that extra money on the larger wires and the big amps and everything if you're not going to maximize the ability to use those big amps. So we're just going to make sure that we got a nice, good wiring foundation for our system. So I've already kind of started working on the alternator wire. I've kind of got that ran. I just have to wait till I can get the battery tray and battery back in place before I can get the final end piece on that. I did find a spot on my frame, although I'm not 100% happy with it, so I may end up moving it. But in the time being, I do have a spot that's directly on the frame itself. So it should be a good solid negative connection there. So I'm gonna continue working on this, and I'll show you some shots along the way so you can see what that looks like. The wires that we're talking about with the electrical upgrade is going to be from the battery to the alternator, like I mentioned. We've got the ground wire here. This is going to be going to the frame, so I don't know if you can get a good view. If not, you could probably come around here. Yeah. See it right in here. Alright, and then the last one is going to go from the battery on the negative side to the engine mount, or to basically a spot on the engine is what I mean.
The black.
Alright, so as we were talking about the Big 3, we're talking about the negative ground going to the frame, which you can see back here. We'll pan out to see that. And then you also got one going to the engine block. So I've dropped it down here, and just getting up underneath the vehicle is the easiest way, and just pulled this bolt out here, which the original wire was ran to, and then just put it back in that spot. And now we've got our Big 3 upgrade. So as you can see, it's not easy to get to, but it'll work. Alright, so we kind of finished getting the wire going. I have my power wire ran down underneath the fender here, and my plan is to bring it all the way down and around and then up this way into this block here, and I'm going to redo the alternator wire back around, and it's also going to come up this way. But a little short on the cable right now, so I'm going to come back to that. In the meantime, I'm just going to kind of leave it how you see it. But the power for the alternator and the ground and everything has been upgraded. Just to give you kind of an idea, this is the factory wire that they use for the power and for the ground. Compare it to the size of cable that we're using here. You know, major difference there. So if you guys are planning on adding big amplifiers to your system, you're running multiple amplifiers, doing that Big 3 upgrade is definitely something that you want to consider doing. Because you just can't pull that many amps through wire. That's, I mean, this right here, I don't even think this is 8 gauge. This is probably more like 10 gauge. And you can see right here in this shot. I mean, look at the difference in the core of the wires. So just something to think about. What do we need to do?
hit that notification bell, smash the like button, and subscribe to the channel.